Peace and grand rising to all the guys and goddesses of planet Kai. Peace to all the divine beings and chosen ones all around the world, family. It's Divine Intellect signing in. And I'm sending y'all nothing but high vibrational energy and gratitude, family. Gratitude. Now, on it, as y'all can see from this title, and I even made a post about it yesterday on my channel, y'all. And I asked, family, for all my subscribers out there who seen it, you know, I asked y'all to ask y'all self, you know what I'm saying? Why is it a church and a liquor store in every black community or neighborhood in America, or in, you know, the ghettos of, you know, the black communities, basically? Why is it there in every neighborhood in the black community in America, right? Why are they side by side? The reason they side by side is to keep you confused, to keep you lost, and keep you away from your true authentic self, you know, to keep you invoking spirits onto yourself, you know, especially, you know, for all these low vibrational beings and soulless beings, right, that operate without a vessel, like without a soul out here. Like they're just a vessel out here, just soulless. You know, they could be used as a host at any time for these spirits, right? So a lot of these people who are trapped in religion and trapped in, you know, these man-made constructs, they're opening themselves up for spirits. They're opening themselves up every day that they go in there and worship and give themselves away to these pagan, give their energy source away to these pagan gods, these fallen entities, these fallen angels. Every time they go and worship, right? And these pastors are witches and warlocks, you know. If it's a woman pastor, she's a witch, and if it's a male pastor, he a warlock, because they had to learn from our oppressors. That's the whole trick, is for them to feed you this lie about this savior to come and save you and have you keep going outside of yourself, you know, so that way you can keep participating and donating your energy and money and time every Sunday when you go there to worship, right? Because you got to think, the Most High Divine Mother and Father, the Divine Creator, don't need money and never cared about the materialistic things. It was all about helping others see the truth. It was all about, you know, helping others realize who they are and that God is already within them, right? That's what he was going out and speaking, the Messiah. You know, you can call him Jesus, some of y'all call him Yahshua, whatever you believe in, you know, as far as what you call him. But he was a black Messiah who went out and spoke the truth, raised the frequencies on the planet, and tried to help humanity, whether it was in the hood, whether it was trying to uplift the pimps, the prostitutes, the homeless, no matter who it was. He was everywhere, just trying to raise the frequency, spread the message. And that's how it is for the life of chosen ones. Like, you're put in place to raise the frequencies and environments, and you're put in place to help others around you, help others see through the illusion and try to help them see, you know what I mean, the best you can, you know, because them just being around you and seeing how you operate and just your authentic nature, it activates something in them naturally. You know, just your presence and your energy being around people, you know, certain people or individuals, it'll activate something in them naturally, you know. So you don't really have to force it onto nobody, because everybody have free will. And as the chosen, we don't really force things on nobody anyway, because we understand the importance of free will and understand the, you know, spiritual nature behind that, and how everybody has their own choice to make their own decisions. Just like you have, you know, you know what's right and you know what's wrong. You have a guilty conscience when you do something wrong, or something alerting you when you're doing something wrong or in danger. Same way, you know, when you're doing something right, or when you're supposed to be doing what you're supposed to be doing, as far as doing things that's righteous, right? It goes hand in hand. It's the duality of life. It's good and evil, you know. So it's all about what decision you decide to make with your life that determines, you know, who you are. You know, like cleaning up your internal world will reflect on your external. You know, basically, you know what you believe you are, you know what I'm saying, that's what you reflect on the outer as. You know, if you believe you ain't nothing, that's what you creating for yourself. You believing that you ain't nothing is something that you're projecting out, and then and others is gonna view you the same way. But if a person is healed and they actively healing and doing the work, you know, they would try to see the good in you, or they would see the good in you, you know, and see the potential that you have within you that's been lying dormant, that you have to activate, you know, because we supposed to naturally be doing what we came here to do, like our missions, our divine purpose, you know, following what makes us happy. Things, because when you do what you love to do, That's a natural way to raise your frequency, raise your vibration, family. You know, doing what you love to do aligns you, you know, with your divine mission, your divine calling, because it's a part of your soul contract and what you signed as far as your contract when you came back down here, when you re-elected to come back into this lifetime, you know, in this physical avatar. So the thing is, why there's a church on every corner, family, and a liquor store, is to invoke spirits onto us, family. Try to put spirits over us to stop us from activating, stop us from evolving, stop us from being our true, authentic self, because they want us going outside ourselves and giving our power away to they false gods and they false entities that they told us who was God, that's not really the true divine creator, right? So you're going outside of yourself to praise a God that ain't even your God. You know what I mean? Because when you look at religion, right? Look at what's in front of it. Like you look at revise, re-edit. You know what I'm saying? That's like going in and or you look at rearrange. That's like going back in and, you know, flipping the script, changing things around, switching things around. That's what was done to the Bible multiple times, family. The real truths and the real tablets and the ancient texts is hidden under the Vatican. They won't allow you to have access to that stuff, man. And a lot of these, like I said, a lot of these pastors, they work with the Freemasonries and they do witchcraft and different things, you know what I mean, that's satanic, that's demonic, to put a spell over the masses of the people and keep them trapped in fear. You know, because when you in religion, they push so much fear on you. Oh, you're gonna go to hell. You know, if you don't praise the God, or, you know, if you do this, you're going to hell. That's just to basically put fear in and manipulate your mind, so that way you don't have your own mind. Because you got to think, the same people who run in this matrix, they want to have control over you. So why would they give you the true divine creator? Why would they tell you who the true divine creator is and give you the righteous God? You know, because they don't want us doing nothing right anyway. They trying to take us out of here with all the food, the chemicals, everything literally was a lie. Everything is literally meant to destroy you. Everything, family, or stop you from evolving. It's all to take you away from your true authentic self spiritually, family, and finding out who you are. That's the whole point of it. And it's to program your mind. Program your mind to keep you in this loop of feeling like you gotta, you know, work your whole life, get your 401k, die, pay bills, keep you in that survival mode. Because when you connected to the Most High, you're not supposed to be in survival. You know, all of those things was created. Those are created simulations. Being in survival mode, being in fear, always feeling in lack, never feeling highly about yourself, always thinking the worst, always downing yourself, always looking at the worst outcome all the time. Those are like programs that was programmed into your subconscious mind that you got to reprogram from and break away from. Those are generational curses and chains that's tied to your lineage and your bloodline that you have to heal and do the work to break free from, right? So with these churches, family, they just trying to invoke spirits. These pastors, they work with demons. Like they working with these Freemasons, and like I said, that's a secret underground brotherhood or whatever, society or whatever of, you know, of demons, witches, warlocks, and all of these big high up people that you see, you know, that's in certain places or have a certain status, you know, are put in certain positions, like these politicians, like a lot of these celebrities. I'm talking about the A class, these ones that the world know. If a person is known worldwide and everybody know this person, they definitely tied to something, some brotherhood, some secret society. They're doing something to get in those doors, family, because the Matrix was designed to stop us from even elevating and living our best life. They always feel like they gotta, you know, come in and take you off your course when you doing everything on your own or working on building your own thing independent. You know, like look at these rappers, for instance. Once they start making a name for themselves, then the labels want to come in and reach in their pockets and take from them. Look at how you got to struggle your whole life, you know, like to maintain shit. That's what they want to keep us in. So working a job your whole life, right, just to maintain some shit, just for them to still reach in your check, to take your taxes out every fucking paycheck. You see what I'm saying? It don't make sense. And it's like y'all print the money out every day. Why are you in my check? And you know you was, and just think if you was struggling and didn't have shit and was down bad before you got that job. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to take from me, motherfucker. Y'all wasn't giving me nothing when I ain't have it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just common sense. But yeah, it's like they want to, they put these pastors in place, family, to keep you trapped, keep you stuck in the simulation of going outside of yourself looking for a God when God is already within. You know, you're seeking for everything outside of yourself when you hold all the answers within you, but you have to do the work to heal, to really like tap deep within to yourself and tap in and connect with spirit and the Most High Divine Creator. That way you could receive those intuitive downloads and receive those messages, you know, intuitively to help guide you along your journey, because when you connect back with your spiritual team, they're going to guide you on your journey anyway. So your footsteps will be guided, like I always tell y'all. So they fear that. And a lot of these churches was built on a lot of our ancient, powerful energy, you know, sources and grids. So that's why they put these churches in certain locations, because they need to drain and harvest as much energy as possible on the most powerfulest, you know, surface within this grid, you know, because they put them in specific locations for a reason, family. And just think about how many is built in the black communities and how much energy they harvest in every day, using these witches and warlocks, these pastors, and you know, to harvest the energy to feed the beast of Babylon, just like they were showing us on the movie They Cloned Tyrone. You know, even if I don't know if y'all seen the section, the scene with the church, like the church scene where they were showing you how they got underground bunkers and underground tunnels and shit in the churches. You know what I'm saying? They show you everything on TV. They telling you what's going on. Everything is not, you know, like they put it right in our face. Nothing's really hidden no more now. Like they put it right in your face. So, you know, it's just to invoke spirits and put spirits onto people and put this fear of going to hell over the masses. And then you got to think that shit was beat into our ancestors for years and years to come to make them follow this, you know, pagan god, this fallen entity. You know, that's what they wanted our people to do. Go outside of ourselves and give our power away to their gods, right? They didn't ever want us to know who the real, true divine creator is, because they always feared us really tapping back into the Most High Divine Creator and building that connection and even connecting with our ancestors and freeing them. You know, that's what they feared all along. So they had to give us this man-made religious constructs to keep us far away from our true, authentic spiritual selves, right? And then you got to also think, too, the reason they put the liquor store there too is because the liquor store is also involved with invoking spirits into you. Why you think when you look at these liquor stores, they say wine and spirits? Because liquor is a spirit drink, you know. And whenever they're preparing and brewing the liquor, right, it's in this huge pot. You know, the oppressors, these motherfuckers who are in charge of creating and manipulating and just fucking up all of our, like, they messing up everything on our planet, literally, our resources, everything, just destroying it. Things that grow naturally off the land, right? These same motherfuckers who destroying everything, right? They have people in place. They certain witches, warlocks, whoever they use to brew over it and enchant certain spells over it before each portion of liquor is poured in their own bottle, right? They're literally brewing and saying curses over the whole entire jug of liquor, or a pot of liquor, or whatever they put it in before they distribute it and put it in their own, like, certain bottles and then distribute it to these stores. You got witches, warlocks saying different enchants and spells and dark demonic shit over the liquor and putting different and calling different spirits in while they're doing that. So you got to think, when you consuming this liquor, family, you got to think they put certain spells and shit over the drink. It's already a spirit drink. That's why when a person get drunk, you start to see another side of them that you wasn't seeing when they were sober. That's because those spirits have taken over. When you get drunk and wasted, something else is taking over your body, family. I mean, you don't feel nothing at all. And I've experienced it before in the past when I did drink before. Like, I never was an alcoholic and drunk every fucking day or anything. But when I used to back then, I know that feeling where it's like I had control over myself. It wasn't like I got stupid drunk where something could take over me. But, half of the time, family, it's like if you get too wasted, too fucked up, it's something else taking over your vessel. You know what I'm saying? Because you end up wondering how the fuck I made it home. How the fuck did I get there? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's spirits, man, that will try to take over your vessel, especially at a low vibrational frequency. That's why we have to raise our frequency, family, and stay away from these drugs, because We don't need to be invoking spirits within our vessels, especially as if you actively healing every day, especially if you're becoming the best version of yourself. Those things you don't even think about or even cross your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you do smoke a little weed, and maybe if you do psychedelics, or even if you do drink, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not saying that you can't. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is just be mindful of what you're putting in your body when you do it, family, when you do drink. You know what I'm saying? And even if you do smoke weed, it's a herb. It's not, I mean, naturally it was growing from the planet, and it come from the, the Canis Major star system. But cannabis was a natural herb that we use to help tap into our ancient, to help us tap into more of our pineal and our intuition, and help open our third eye more. Like, it was a herb we used, and we used it for medicinal purposes. It wasn't just to smoke just to get high. You know what I mean? Because anciently it was used in teas, and natural remedies as far as consuming it. It wasn't always rolling it up in a blunt and just smoking it. You know what I mean? Like, and it was natural. It was more natural, healthier ways to consume the THC, to get high. It wasn't, because it's actually a herb, And I mean, even if you do psychedelics, you done shrooms, different things of that nature, it also helps with your pineal gland. It also helps, cleanse your pineal, you know what I mean? And help you have a breakthrough as far as releasing and shedding old things that no longer serve you. Like, you going through a whole rebirth or transformation, when you do have your breakthrough, But even if you do whatever you do, family, I'm not here to judge you. Just be mindful of, and be aware of how much you could take and what you can consume, but don't let it take you, out of here to where you just doing any and everything or acting crazy, acting wild. Don't let it lower your frequency. Have control and discipline over yourself too. You know what I'm saying? Have fun, live your life, do what you want to do because you have free will, but at the same time, be mindful of what you do and how you do it, family, because, you, especially on this path of rising in frequency and healing, you don't want to lower your frequency or go backwards or get caught up in the old ways or your old temptations or old behavior patterns that no longer serve your higher self, But everybody has free will to live their life, do what they want to do. But yeah, family, y'all ever just ask yourself, and this was a question I was having, like, why is there a corner store? That's something I was asking myself. Why is there a corner store, a liquor store, and a church in every hood or black community in America, family? Why are they side by side or nearby somewhere, like by each other? Why? And it's by design, family, to keep us trapped and invoking spirits within our vessel, and to keep us, at a low frequency and trying to rely on things outside of ourselves to make us feel good and to make us feel uplifted. We don't need any of those things to make us feel uplifted. Hell, you got the sun. The sun changes your mood, raises your frequency, cleanses your whole aura field, releases toxins, removes stress, whatever's on your mind, your body. It cures damn near anything the more that you get it, because it's the most organic thing on this planet. You know what I'm saying? So it gives you more life the more that you out here sitting in it and receiving it, and it heals you. It heals your whole body, your DNA, everything, family. So why not get out here and feel good, feel better about yourself? Help your skin glow. It cleanses your skin from acne. It helps your hair grow. You know what I mean? It's just good for you all all the way around in general. You're getting that vitamin D. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing like that sunlight, family. And they want us to fear even getting out here and being in it. That's why they created the air conditioners. That's why they want you far away from being connected with nature as possible. They ain't even want us to grow our antennas out, because they connect us to the entire planet, connect us to nature, connect us back to our true authentic self. And that's why them downloads be coming so much, because when your locks is growing and you're growing your ether out naturally, that's your power, family. It's your power, because your ether is connected to the trees, connected to the planet, everything around you. You know what I'm saying? Because even looking at the vein, like, look down in the soil of the ground, look at earth veins, basically. The veins in the earth and the ground are damn near the same way the veins are shaped within you as a god or goddess, as a divine being, right? So it gets deep, family, as far as our connection to this planet and where we come from, and as far as being the indigenous people of this land. We share a connection with this planet, Like I said, we give life to the sun, give us life, but we also give life to the sun as well, But yeah, they want to invoke, the reason why they created this family was to keep us far away from ourselves, our true authentic self spiritually, and to keep us lost and disconnected from the real divine source. Because just because a person go to church every day, that don't make you a good person, because it's a lot of wicked shit that go on in these congregations, and it's shit that go on at the church where you got members gossiping about each other, which is a form of witchcraft. That's witchcraft being done right there. So if you're really connecting with God, why are you still spewing witchcraft? You know what I'm saying? Why are you talking down? Why are you doing negative things instead of growing when you know that you're supposed to be growing? That's because you're not connected with the true divine creator. That's a false God. So every day you're going there and praising and getting and going in there around these witches and warlocks, which is these pastors, you giving them all of your energy, and they're invoking demonic spirits over you every time they put their hand on you. That's why you got to be careful of who you let touch you out here too, because people be carrying all type of shit with them that's not right. A lot of unclean shit. A lot of these people are unclean spirits attached to them, and they tied to certain cults and different demonic organizations and shit like that, family. And you have to be aware of that. And when people be like, oh, I'm gonna pray for you, let me say a prayer for you, don't let nobody pray for you either, because you don't know what the hell they're enchanting or praying over you in your life. So you have to be aware of these things. Don't let nobody pray for you, don't let nobody touch you. We in a spiritual warfare, family, and bodies are being hijacked and used, and they can be used, like I said, if a person drinking or even participating in certain rituals within the church, which be demonic rituals, family. Every time you drink of the blood and eat of the flesh, you're participating in cannibalism, because eating flesh and drinking blood is not righteous. That's something that these demons do. That's something that vampires do. Demons, demonic forces, fallen entities, dark forces. Those are things that they participate in. Why you think these celebrities have to give up sacrifices in the industry, give up blood? Why you think that kids are getting sex trafficked and kidnapped every day for blood, organs, getting organ harvested, to feed these demonic forces, these reptilians, these people behind the scenes, these demonic forces who thrive and live off the blood of our people and off blood. They're just blood drinkers, and when they talk about vampires, right? Think about it like this. These motherfuckers, they drink blood. These dark forces, these reptiles, these evil forces, family. They survive off blood, and they can't take the sunlight. That's the vampires right there. They show you this shit in front of you to make you think. They put it on TV to make you think that, it's not real, or, oh, this just fiction. But they're basically telling. And even when they talking about King James in the Bible, King James was a pedophile that practiced witchcraft, See, the truth really hurt, family. I'm telling y'all, the truth really hurt. But the truth is the truth. And that's what I'm standing behind, whether y'all believe it or not. I'm just here to speak the truth, But just be aware, family. Like, they put these two things in every black community, in black communities in America. They put the church and liquor store right there, family. They put it right there because they know that these things will keep us far away from our true authentic self. And they know that our people will run to this because they stressing, or they will run to this when they ready to go out the club or go party. Not saying you can't go do those things. I ain't never said that. But I'm just saying, be mindful. Be mindful of the tricks and the bullshit that this system, and the games that it play. Like, just be mindful of it. Be mindful of the games. So it's just so much shit to keep us distracted from our true authentic self. And who you think put the drugs in the communities in the 80s and the 90s to our people and forced our people into poverty? And once our planet was taken over and manipulated, like when you look in the 80s, in the 90s, when the crack era and the drug era was heavy pushed upon our people when the oppressors put all this stuff within our communities, right, to keep us in poverty, to divide the family, the black man and black woman up from having being there for their kids and family, try to take the kids away, put them in foster cares, try to take our separate the children from their families, their parents. But they use drugs as a weapon, like these hard, heavy drugs and shit, like like I said, the crack, the heroin, and some of this stuff stem from starting off with weed and liquor and things of that nature, where people feel like they want to try even more extreme shit and they end up, you know, doing way worse of shit. But you know, I'm mainly talking about what took place in the 80s and 90s as far as what happened to the black community. You know, like, you know, I'm saying in general, like, any drug is like damn near a gateway to a person wanting to go do more and experiencing more. But like I said, you know, you have free will to do what you want to do in your life, but don't fuck your life up, family, on this shit, you know, especially that hard shit. You know, do not fuck your life up like that, you know. And like I said, that was something that was pushed within the black communities in that time period of the late, I believe it was early 80s, late 80s or early 90s, in that time frame, you know, in that crack era, family, where they was separating our people, you know, and dividing up the families and pushing that drug shit onto our people, you know, and fucking up the minds of our people too, you know, so that we can't think and can't use our mind and stick together and raise our families and do what we supposed to do as black gods, black goddesses, you know, kings, queens, what, you know, whatever you know, believe you are, you know. I know who I am, you know, and as all the gods and goddesses know who they are too. So we can't be lied to no more in the veil. We can no longer be confused because we see through the illusions, you know. Don't let them scare you with this religion shit to try to take you away from who you are, because these are still Satan's agents being put in place to confuse you. Because like I said, they doing their work for their father. Because if that religion stuff resonate with you, that means you're not a chosen one, or you're not the child of the Most High Divine Mother and Father for real. Because we know as a divine being, having a true connection to the Creator has nothing to do with religion or tied to any man-made religious construct. You know, but let's continue evolving, family. Continue being the best version of yourself. You have free will to do whatever it is that you want, but I will always encourage you, and I will always tell you, family, that you don't need any drugs or you don't need anything outside of yourself that's going to take you away from being the best version of yourself and connected to your most authentic version, you know, of you, the best version of you, and being connected to the Most High Divine Creator, Divine Source, which is the real, true Divine Creator. But if this video resonate with y'all, family, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video to more divine beings and chosen ones all around the world. And if you would like to book a one-on-one consultation call over the phone with me, you can email me. My email will be down in the description box below, so we can get that set up for you, a day, a time, and discuss the pricing. And if you would like to donate to my Cash App to support my channel, I will also leave that down in the description box below as well. It's Divine Intellect, family. I appreciate all of y'all's support, and I'm signing out. Hashay.